You ready to talk about kids?
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm pumped to talk this.
My closest girlfriends, we're all 30.
Yeah, you're getting old, so like let's crank this thing up a notch. I'm kidding.
I am like ready in a way, but I know it's hard to.
I'm kidding.
I want to run a house with someone who can like.
Welcome back to Love is Blind, the show where people talk to each other through a wall for 10 days, and then they meet in person and argue for 10 days, and then they get divorced. This has been going on for 8 seasons. Lauren and Dave are no different. Their relationship is that of complete strangers because they're complete strangers, but it's okay because he has a charming personality. Or something. I don't know. That's what they're saying on the show. Am I supposed to believe that? All he's done is make fun of her for being old like 3 times. All I can think is she fell in love with him based on the fact that he's on the other side of the wall. It's just, if it were somebody else, it would have been that person. I know she's talked to other people, but if Dave was the best of the bunch, what am I supposed to think? This guy sure as hell didn't do anything. He has his own image. I don't even know if he's in the season. Why does this image exist? There's an article introducing the cast in the beginning of the season, and there's like a little paragraph for this guy. I think it's hilarious when they clearly plan on some people being around in the season because they introduce a lot of them, and then as it goes on, the editors are probably like, what am I going to do with this? But seriously, how bad was this guy's pod sessions? What did he do in there? Did he just walk in and start making sounds? Just making sound effects and noise? I'm surprised that didn't win them over. Someone should speed run this show. They could be like, listen, I'm vulnerable, I like to travel, and I'm ready to get married and have kids. What was that, like 3 seconds? Listen, I'm just a vulnerable little traveler, and I'm very passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. I like to be a good partner. That's one thing I'm passionate. I like passion fruit. What's my favorite board game? The Game of Life. Because when I play it, I always choose to be passionate and vulnerable and have a family with children and kids.
Just be you, Lauren, because you are literally, I say it all the time now, but you are amazing.
You are too.
This is what it is. I'm not going to think you're like being a bitch or like being drama queen over there or anything.
Okay. So Lauren has just told Dave that she thinks some of the other women are treating her differently now. This happens frequently because 2 people will figure out through context clues that they're talking to the same person and things get really awkward. Dave has this way of speaking and making jokes where he says things that subtly reveal how he really thinks. I don't believe it's a joke when he comments about her age. I'm pretty sure that's how he actually feels, but he's just pretending it's a joke. And similarly, the way that he says, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to think you're a drama queen or a bitch for that. It kind of just makes it seem like he does think that. Or at the very least, that those words are a part of his vocabulary and he would think that about somebody in a similar situation.
I want you to be able to tackle everything with the kids that I'm able to tackle.
Gosh, same.
If you had to pick a chore, pick laundry or dishes.
Dishes.
Amazing. We're like a match.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Okay, let's move on. So anyway, Dave is like, oh my God, I love you and I could see myself doing dishes alongside you for the next 10 to 12 days or so. Dave, I've always wanted to be with a man who likes to do the dishes and make fun of me for being old. Let's do it. Let's just get married tomorrow. Screw it. This isn't real life. You just got that X factor, you know? It's like you're kind of a douche, but also I need to get to know you more to confirm that. There aren't a lot of options here, Dave, okay? I've talked to 40 different men. They all had the same 5 favorite hobbies down to the number. And it's not like I'm being dramatic. It's not, oh, Lauren is exaggerating here. No, I'm being dead serious. I don't know if they talk to each other. I'm quite frankly convinced there's a glitch in the Matrix at this point.
I could see myself proposing to you.
Please just do it then, because I can't watch this.
Jesus. I haven't been in love in a long time. So I kind of don't really know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I'm this like completely different person.
You know how in Charlie Brown, all the adults were like, womp, 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 womp? I wish these people were as intelligible as that. So Dave says that he hasn't been in love in a long time and that he's not sure what being in love should feel like anymore. But if you're saying that, then you probably aren't in love. It's one thing to have a connection. Like, okay, sure, fine. I believe that some of these people have a connection. I'll suspend my disbelief for a moment here. But it seems so often that so many of them are in love simply because they're restricted to a timeline for the show where they have to propose in a certain amount of time and they have to get married in a certain amount of time. They all refer to this as an experiment. Like, why are you experimenting with marriage? You're experimenting with falling in love. It's just weird. Sometimes I forget that these are grown men because they don't act like grown men or speak like grown men at all. And I bet they don't even use Manscaped, today's sponsor. I feel like I used to procrastinate more when it came to shaving before I used Manscaped because it was always such a hassle. But their handyman razor is so easy to use, and it's way faster and more safe on the skin than anything else I've encountered. It has a dual blade, which includes the standard foil shaver as well as a long hair trimming blade to manage up to 3 days of beard growth. Not to mention it's small and compact, yet very powerful, and can run for 60 minutes off of a single charge, which is way more than enough time. Also, this thing is waterproof, so you never have to worry about that. Like, you can literally just run it under the water all day and it's gonna work fine. This isn't even the only thing from Manscaped I have. I also have one of their lawnmower trimmers, which I use regularly, and everything I've used by them so far has been great. If you're interested in getting your own handyman razor, you can get 20% off plus free shipping at Manscaped by using the code SLICE. Again, that's 20% off plus free shipping if you go to manscaped.com/slice and use the code SLICE. You can find the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
I feel like I'm just like becoming the person I've always like meant to be. I don't act like this in the real world
Yeah.
because I'm like afraid to show it or something.
Alright, let's not get back to the video. What does he mean he doesn't act like this in the real world? Have the pods opened up some vulnerable side of Dave? And why is she just nodding along and agreeing with this like it makes sense? Half the time I don't even know what they're talking about. It's never enough for someone like Dave to just say, hey, we have a good connection and I think I might be falling in love with you. It always has to be, oh, I haven't been in love in so long, I'm learning how to love again because of you, Lauren. Before I entered these pods, I was a completely different person, but in the last 3 days, I think I've really matured.
I'm like afraid to show it or something.
Are you excited or nervous to have your family see this side of you?
Lauren, you did not just ask that. You're asking all the right questions. Oh my God. So I guess this pod version of Dave is like the new Dave, and he's excited to show his family the new version of Dave, and Lauren's like, what do you think they're going to say about Pod Dave now that you're a changed man? I almost want to experience these pods for myself at this point. They all talk about it like it's some spiritual journey. They're going into a room and they're talking to someone through a wall, then they're leaving and going into another room and hanging out with people until they wait to do it again the next day. That's all that's happening. That's it.
I feel very good
Good.
about it
Well, I don't.
because I feel so like strongly about you, and I kind of get the feeling it's mutual. Oh man.
This is horrible. I'm sure if you didn't let them out of the pods, they would just do this forever. They wouldn't even realize they've aged 20 years. It would just be like, I like you so much and I can't wait to get out of here maybe someday, but it's okay because we have such a good connection right now and I don't want this to change. Is this a future genre of person? Pod people? Can they just trap all of these people here? Can this be a way to trap all of the reality TV people? You get them all here, you put them into the pods, and when they're talking to each other, you just lock the door. You don't say anything. They might not even notice, ever. Just keep giving them plates of food that looks bougie, feed them some wine. They'll be good. They'll be fine.
Lauren. Lauren is making this process very confusing.
It's so annoying. Why does every guy fall back on this? They're like, I'm just confused. This whole process is so confusing. Do you mean you just like two people? Is that what you're trying to say? If you're 32 years old and you're this confused after this and you don't even know what it's like to be in love, maybe this isn't for you. I mean, this isn't for anyone, to be fair. I don't think anybody should be doing this, but so many people come on here and they're like, I'm afraid of commitment. It terrifies me. So I decided to come on a show where I have to commit to somebody in 10 days. So now we're going to move on to when Dave is talking to Molly, who is his other love interest. She asks him how things are going with the guys, and he says that they're finally starting to talk names. She says that scares her a little bit, and she reveals to Dave that he's the only person she's talking to, which is probably a mistake to tell Dave that.
Ooh, that scares me.
It shouldn't.
Well, it doesn't scare me actually because I'm not talking to anyone else, so.
You're not? You did not tell me that.
Yeah.
Makes me feel very, like, not in control, but like very confident.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, that makes me feel, I don't want to say in control, but it makes me feel like I'm the king of the pods, if that makes sense. Some of those guys out there have gotten 0 screen time, and I'm over here talking to 2 women in the pods. Even Dave was really surprised to hear that she wasn't talking to anyone else. He's like, really? You're only talking to me? I was that interesting? Okay. Well, maybe you and I can go on vacation, do some dishes, maybe hit up a buffet.
We aren't super emotional people about like all these like dramatic emotions that people are having. Like we just want to have fun together.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the goal.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Dude, this guy just completely changed his tune depending on who he's talking to. Earlier with Lauren, he was all in touch with his emotions and saying his family's gonna see this new side of him. He was talking about how he hasn't been in love in a long time and she could be the one to change that. And now he's like, all these people and their dramatic emotions. Life should be just about having fun. Obviously, everyone deals with emotions differently, and some people are more compatible with others depending on how they deal with their emotions. But these two are acting like life can just be nonstop fun. That's not how it's ever gonna work.
Life should be fun and easy, I think.
Yep.
Exactly. It's just gonna be easy all the
Anyways.
time. You're never gonna have any problems. Oh. All right, what the hell was that? I just want to find a husband where we have fun together. You know, all these other women, they're way too serious. You're not gonna like them. They don't know how to have fun. I only have fun. I'm never serious. Not even right now.
Okay.
I like when girls have their own interests and hobbies. You don't like just rely on me to provide entertainment all the time.
I like when girls have their own interests and hobbies and personalities, and they have like an independent mind and they think for themselves. That's cool. Even though I'm an inherently entertaining person, I can't just provide you entertainment all the time, you know? So it's a good thing that you have dance and you have things that you do on your own.
Okay, that's why this experiment's so cool. Because like we're all different,
Yeah.
and like there are a lot of guys in there that like, and girls, I guess, they're looking for that.
For sure.
When you really start to think about what they actually say most of the time, you realize they're not saying anything. Like, let's break apart what he just said. This experiment is cool because everyone here is different and they're all looking for different things. That's just life. How is that? What does that have to do with this experiment, Dave?
Gosh, Molly. We are the freaking same.
I know. It's actually kind of scary.
It is. We are literally the same.
So they did talk about some actual important stuff that I didn't include. They talked about their religious and political views. So it's not like this is all based on absolutely nothing. But at the same time, it's still very surface level so far. And everyone here is in the process of getting to know one another. So what often happens on this show and many similar shows is people's views and opinions are much more mild in the beginning because they're trying to be polite.
Sorry, this might be like TMI, but like
No, go for it.
my right testicle is like throbbing right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's TMI. That's definitely nobody needs to know that. We don't need to know that. She doesn't need to know that. Nick Lachey doesn't need to know that. This guy doesn't need to know that. So then they talk about wedding rings and they both like gold. And once again, Dave is like, oh my God, we're literally the same. I'm not kidding. He does this again. And then he tells Molly that she has been his number one since the first day. And that even though he's seeing someone else, things are really starting to separate now.
I mean, I feel like I've gotten further along in this experiment than I ever have regular dating.
Same.
I've never really like felt like this before.
All right, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I mean, come on, dude. You're 32 years old. You haven't felt like this at all before. This is the furthest along you've ever gotten when it comes to dating. People on the show start to say that they've never felt this way before so quickly, and it becomes kind of a red flag, at least to anybody normal, I would guess. With Dave, it comes off as inauthentic, and it seems sort of like love bombing to me, like he's just telling her this because he wants her to think that she's extra special. So next, Dave was supposed to go break it off with Lauren because he told Molly that he was going to commit to her, but Dave has other plans.
Your other girlfriend, Molly, came into the lounge and like very proudly talked about how you told her that she was your number one connection here. Number one, did you say that? And number two, if that's how you feel, then I don't need to be here.
So yeah, Dave kind of gets called out here and gets caught in a bit of a predicament, but instead of acknowledging it or answering her question, he just says that he doesn't want to get caught up in all the girl drama. The fact that he doesn't understand that he caused this drama, like it's not just girl drama. He's saying two different things to two different people, so of course they're going to be like, what the hell? But if it's true that Molly is his number one and has been since he got here, then he should just break up with Lauren. Like, what's the problem? What's the big deal?
I honestly like don't know if Molly knows that it's me that is also talking to you.
This is what I didn't want to happen, is like get caught up in like the girl drama.
I don't think it's girl drama. You need to just figure out what you want.
But Lauren, you heard him earlier. He's confused. You made him all confused. You want to know why he's confused? Because he doesn't know what they look like. That's as simple as that. Honestly, maybe Dave isn't even being malicious. Maybe he's just genuinely forgetting who he's talking to half the time because they can't see each other and all of them are virtually the same anyway. You know what would be hilarious? If after a few days they just swapped out whoever Dave was talking to and just pretended that this was the same person even though she had a different voice and had different opinions and different everything else, and see if he even noticed.
If you were my number one on day one.
I wish we would have like talked about this before right now.
What do you mean? You did. That's all you ever talked about was who your number one is and who you have a connection with and how much you want to meet this person. That's all you guys ever talked about. And now he's like, oh, I wish we talked about this before now. Now that I'm deciding to break up with you, I wish we talked about the same thing we talked about for the last 5 days again. If he went in there to break up with her, this doesn't make any sense because nothing she said should have changed his mind at all. He's acting like, oh man, if I knew this before, if you knew what? She said that you're her number one now? That's what you guys were saying to each other already. Anyway, I think I have to end it here because my brain is in a severe amount of pain. But don't worry, we've almost escaped the pods and we're going to be out into the real world where things don't really get any better or more interesting or entertaining or anything. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you so much everyone for watching and for stopping by. I also just want to say thanks to everyone who has joined the Patreon recently. There's going to be a lot of great stuff over there, even some things for free members. But if you're interested in supporting the channel at all and you want to see like 8.5 hours worth of Jersey Shore content, then you can head on over to Patreon. Anyway, thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description. And thanks everyone for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you next time.
You ready to talk about kids?
Yes, I'm pumped to talk this. Somebody brought up like when you get your phone back, it's like if you're engaged or whatever.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, I might have to delete some shit. I don't have to delete anything. I haven't like talked to a girl like that in a while.
Her name is Mahogany.